Hello, it's Aunt Beck from Aunt Beck's Bakery. Today I'm going to show you how to do this vintage piped aqua 4-tier cake. And there's going to be a little twist at the end too, so you're going to want to see what that is. A 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch. They're all 3 inches high. And I have cardboard underneath as usual. That's what I do with all my Amazon boxes that I get. I cut them so that I can make my cakes on them. And then only the bottom 2 tiers are attached, and then the top 2 tiers are attached. There's a space in the middle. And I have a paint color called Rainwater that I like to use. I think it's really pretty. One year somebody ordered a Tiffany blue cake from me, and this was the closest color that I could get to Tiffany blue that I found. I brought home several samples, tested them out, and I feel like this is a pretty good Tiffany blue. The lady who ordered this cake called it a minty blue, and I think that's pretty accurate too. So I always start off by painting my cakes. This is after I've spackled them. They have to be spackled and they have to dry. So you have to give them like appropriate amount of time to dry, which could be, you know, anywhere from 24 hours to 48. Like, you know, if you're just doing a base coat to paint on it, a thin coat, it should definitely be dry enough to paint by 48 hours. And then also you have to sand. So this has already been sanded down. I don't do a ton of sanding because it's super messy and there's very small particles and it gets everywhere, and it's not safe to inhale, so I do wear a mask, and I actually try to keep the sanding to a minimum. So, you know, you see the imperfections, but there's always imperfections in my cakes. That's just how my cakes are. And when there's like these big ridges, anywhere where there's a big ridge or dent or something like that, I know that there's going to be frosting over that. So in order to keep the sanding to a minimum, that's just how I do it. Some people have some really, really great smooth icing techniques. And so they're kind of flawless from the beginning, but I'm not one of those people. My cakes have flaws in them, and I'm okay with that, and my customers seem to be okay with that too. Okay, so everything that's gonna get some piping is wet. I've painted it, and now it's wet. You're gonna need a petal tip for this, something that you would do, you know, make roses with. You're gonna need a leaf tip, which I usually cut my leaf tip. So if you've watched this channel before, you know I just cut it at an angle, you know, so it comes to a point, and that makes a leaf tip. But you can use a regular leaf tip if you want to. I'm not like by the book. I just do things the way I feel like doing it. And then a star tip. So this is a small star tip. I just burped the bag, which means, you know, you get the air bubbles out. You give it a nice squeeze so you get an air bubble out, but you could do it on the side of your, you know, on a paper plate or on a piece of wax paper so that the air bubble doesn't pop on your cake. It just pops on the side. So you give it a nice squeeze. If you feel, you can usually, if you pick up the bag, you can tell if there's an air bubble in there. You could feel it. So you know it's going to eventually pop, so you might as well just pop it on the side so it doesn't pop on your cake. I'm going to make a nice shell border on this vintage cake because I do a lot of shell borders because I do a lot of vintage style, and that was like pretty much all they did with vintage cakes is shell borders. There's some variations of it, but it's kind of classic cake decorating. So and you just squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull, squeeze and pull, and you don't you just keep turning the turntable as you push and pull and push and pull. If you don't turn the turntable, it'll get piled up on top of each other. All the shells will start to bunch up. So you have to be turning the turntable as you work on that. Okay, and then I'm going to use my leaf tip. And this is exactly the same as, there's that bubble. Luckily, it wasn't too bad. Push and pull, push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. And turn at the same time. Do it like this. Push, push and pull and turn slowly. Just turn the turntable at the same amount of speed as you're piping. This is going to be a read. Like I said, not everything I do is by the book. I'm not measuring out, you know, exactly inch by inch. I just use my 4 fingers to make a little space so that they're all approximately the same size. And yeah, that actually worked out pretty good. That worked out just right. It'll probably be different here. Just marking the space. And that one's pretty good too. Okay, great. And then we're gonna do a swag, and this is we're gonna do the narrow side of the tip pointing up. I'm sorry, pointing down. The narrow side pointing down, the wider side facing up. And we're going to make these swags. Let's see if I can move this a little bit. actually dragging the top part of the tip on the cake. And that makes it a little bit steadier. For me, I usually end up touching the cake with the tip. Like, it's not just the frosting is what I'm saying is touching the cake, it's the actual tip. Okay, so you go all the way around with those. Then we're going to do the leaf tip again, and we're going to go right over the top edge. Makes a cute little like ruffle. Just push and pull, push and pull. Okay, I'll do it on the bottom. Push, pull, push, pull. These designs are on fake cakes, but they can be used on real cakes too. Okay. So that's that part, and then back to the shell border, I'm going to put this, my teardrop that I use a lot in my videos is going to be right in the middle. So you start low and you pull up. Start low, pull up. Then one more shell border on this area. So like I said, all those imperfections that I was talking about, they're like this. It's covered up. Okay, and so you're gonna repeat the same pattern. Okay, so I did all 4 tiers in the Tiffany blue, and I did the piping. It's identical piping on all 4 tiers, and I did keep the tiers separate because I'm going to add this disco ball as the center of the cake. It was a customer request from the customer who placed this order, and I have another tutorial on this page with a teacup that shows you exactly how to place something like this in the middle between your tiers. So you can take a look at that, because that's definitely more in depth. And so it's going to go like that, and it's going to be glued in place. So I'm going to show you that. Really cute. It was her idea, but I love it so much. So if you like this tutorial, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel so you can see more of that. And if you ever wanted to order a custom cake or order products from me, I sell on Etsy. under Aunt Beck's Bakery. I sell lots of different fake cakes on there, and I also take custom orders. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video.